We all encounter moments in life when we feel hurt, betrayed, or mistreated by others. It's a natural response to want to seek revenge or hold on to anger. But what if I told you that the best way to handle the pain caused by others isn't through retaliation or bitterness? What if the best form of revenge is something far more powerful, something that transforms your life and sets you free? When someone hurts you, it can feel as though a part of your power has been taken away. Whether it's through betrayal, cruelty, or negligence, the emotional toll can leave you feeling vulnerable and drained. However, the reality is that no one can truly take your power unless you allow them to. Reclaiming your power means taking responsibility for how you respond to pain and choosing to regain control of your emotional state. It's about recognizing that your sense of peace and well-being is yours to nurture, regardless of what others may do. The first step in reclaiming your power is recognizing that your emotions are not controlled by others, but by you. When we are hurt, it's easy to slip into a victim mindset. We begin to believe that we are powerless in the face of others' actions, but that belief is a lie. Your emotions, reactions, and mindset are within your control. While you can't always control what others do or say, you always have the ability to choose how you will respond to them. By consciously choosing not to allow their actions to define your emotional state, you take back your power. One of the most profound ways to reclaim your power is by recognizing that your worth is not defined by others' treatment of you. Too often we tie our sense of value to how others perceive us, or worse, how they treat us. If someone hurts you, it might feel as though they are telling you that you're not worthy of love, respect, or kindness. But this is simply not true. The way people treat you says more about them than it does about you. It's a reflection of their beliefs, their own wounds, and their ability to show empathy, not a reflection of your value. You are valuable and deserving of respect, not because of anyone else's approval, but because of who you are as a person. When you start to see yourself as worthy, independent of others' judgments or actions, you take back the power that was once lost. Another crucial aspect of reclaiming your power is setting healthy boundaries. People will hurt you, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. But the more you allow others to cross your boundaries, the more you give away your power. Boundaries are not about being rigid or unkind. They are about protecting your emotional well-being and teaching others how to treat you. When you set clear, firm boundaries, you send a message to the world that you value yourself and will no longer tolerate behavior that diminishes your sense of self-worth. These boundaries could be physical, emotional, or even verbal, whatever feels right for you. The more you establish and enforce these boundaries, the more your inner power grows. Another powerful way to reclaim your power is through forgiveness. Many people think that forgiveness means excusing the hurtful actions of others or letting them off the hook. In reality, forgiveness is a personal act of liberation. When you forgive, you are not doing it for the person who hurt you, you are doing it for yourself. Holding on to anger, resentment, or a desire for revenge only keeps you connected to the person or event that hurt you. It keeps you tied to the past, unable to move forward. By forgiving, you release yourself from that hold. Forgiveness frees your energy so that you can move on with your life without the emotional weight of the past holding you back. It's not about forgetting what happened, but about choosing not to let it control your present or future. It's a profound way to take back your power. When you reclaim your power, you also begin to take responsibility for your own happiness. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that your happiness depends on the actions of others. If they treat you well, you feel good about yourself. If they hurt you, you feel bad. But the truth is that no one can make you feel anything you don't choose to feel. Happiness comes from within. It is a choice, not a reaction. When you take ownership of your happiness, you stop relying on others to provide it for you. You become your own source of joy and fulfillment, which is an incredibly empowering place to be. You begin to realize that you have the ability to create a life that feels good, regardless of what anyone else does or doesn't do. Finally, reclaiming your power involves embracing your inner strength and resilience. Life will inevitably bring challenges and pain, but every time you face adversity and rise above it, you grow stronger. You begin to realize that you are capable of handling anything life throws your way. When you acknowledge your own strength, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as a warrior, someone who has the ability to overcome, heal, and flourish. Your power lies in your ability to bounce back, to heal from wounds, and to continue moving forward in the face of difficulties. Reclaiming your power isn't an overnight process. It's a journey that takes time, patience, and self-compassion. But every step you take toward healing and empowerment is a step toward a life that is truly yours. It's a life where you are in control of your emotions, your worth, your boundaries, and your happiness. It's a life where no one has the power to hurt you in a way that diminishes your sense of self or peace. When you reclaim your power, you stop giving your energy away to things that don't serve you, and you begin to create a life that reflects your true essence, one that is filled with love, respect, joy, and strength. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many people believe that forgiveness means excusing the behavior of others or letting them off the hook. They think it's about saying that what someone did to hurt them was okay. But forgiveness is not about condoning or accepting hurtful behavior. In reality, forgiveness is one of the most liberating acts you can perform for yourself. It's a way to free your heart and soul from the chains of bitterness, anger, and resentment. It's an act of self-healing that allows you to release the emotional grip of the past and create space for peace, joy, and emotional freedom. At its core, forgiveness is about letting go. It's about recognizing that holding on to pain, anger, and resentment only keeps you tied to the person or event that caused your suffering. Every time you revisit the hurt, you replay the same negative emotions, thoughts, and stories in your mind. This not only keeps you stuck in the past, but also prevents you from living fully in the present. It's like being trapped in an emotional prison, and the key to that prison is forgiveness. When you forgive, you break the chains that bind you, releasing yourself from the power that the person or situation once had over you. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget what happened or allow yourself to be mistreated again. It doesn't mean you give others a free pass to harm you or that you tolerate hurtful behavior. It simply means that you choose to release the emotional attachment to the past hurt. You choose to stop letting the negative feelings from the experience control your present. By forgiving, you take back your power. You stop allowing someone else's actions to dictate how you feel or how you live your life. You no longer carry the burden of their wrongdoings. Instead, you choose peace over pain. When you forgive, you free yourself from the heavy weight of resentment. Resentment is like carrying a heavy burden on your shoulders. It consumes your energy and creates emotional and physical stress. Holding on to bitterness takes up valuable space in your heart and mind, preventing you from experiencing true joy. The more you hold on to resentment, the more it takes from you, leaving you feeling drained, exhausted, and stuck. But when you choose forgiveness, you release that burden. You allow yourself to heal, and you create room for new experiences, positive emotions, and healthier relationships. Forgiveness also allows you to release any false beliefs you may have about yourself as a result of the hurt. When someone betrays you or hurts you, it can be easy to internalize that experience and believe that you somehow deserve the pain. You may feel unworthy of love or respect, or you may begin to question your own value. But forgiveness is a way to remind yourself that you are worthy regardless of how others treat you. It is an affirmation of your worth. By forgiving, you send a message to yourself that you are not defined by the actions of others. You are whole, complete, and deserving of love and respect, no matter what has happened in your past. Forgiveness is not something you do for the other person, it's something you do for yourself. It's an act of self-compassion. When you hold on to anger or resentment, you are allowing someone else's actions to continue to affect your emotional state. You are essentially giving them control over your happiness. But when you forgive, you take back that control. You choose to focus on your own healing and peace. You stop letting the past define you and begin to create a future filled with love, joy, and freedom. One of the most profound aspects of forgiveness is that it can release you from the cycle of pain. When we are hurt, our natural instinct is to protect ourselves from further harm. Often we hold on to our pain as a way of guarding ourselves from future hurt. We convince ourselves that if we keep our anger or resentment close, we won't allow ourselves to be hurt again. But in reality, this only perpetuates the cycle. The more we hold on to anger, the more we continue to relive the pain. Forgiveness breaks that cycle. It stops the negative emotions from looping back around and allows us to create a healthier, more empowered relationship with ourselves and others. Forgiveness is also a way to free ourselves from judgment. When we hold on to hurt, we often judge the person who caused the pain, believing they are bad or wrong, but judgment is a form of attachment. It keeps us tied to the person and the experience. When we forgive, we let go of that judgment. We acknowledge that the person may have acted out of their own wounds, insecurities, or limitations. Forgiveness doesn't excuse their behavior, but it allows us to release the need for judgment. It opens the door for compassion and understanding, both for the other person and for ourselves. It's important to recognize that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It may take time to fully forgive someone, especially if the hurt was deep or traumatic. That's okay. Forgiveness doesn't happen on a timeline, it happens when you are ready. The important thing is to make the choice to forgive, even if it's a small step at a time. The more you commit to the process of forgiveness, the lighter you will feel, and the more freedom you will experience in your life. The act of forgiveness is a powerful tool for personal growth and healing. It opens the door to emotional freedom, allowing you to let go of past pain and create space for new, more positive experiences. It reminds you that you are not defined by the wrongs others have done to you, but by how you choose to heal and move forward. Forgiveness is freedom not just for the person who hurt you, but for yourself. When you choose to forgive, you choose peace. You choose to take back your power. You choose to live a life of love, joy, and emotional liberation. Living well and living joyfully are not just abstract concepts or lofty ideals. They are choices we make every single day. In a world where we often measure success by external achievements, the real meaning of living well is found within ourselves. It's a life that reflects inner peace, happiness, and purpose, a life where we prioritize our emotional and mental well-being above all else. To live well is to recognize that we are worthy of joy, peace, and fulfillment. It's about choosing to embrace life's ups and downs with grace, learning to appreciate the present moment, and realizing that joy is a state of mind rather than a result of external circumstances. The first step to living well is cultivating self-awareness. We often get caught up in the rush of daily life, following routines, meeting expectations, and fulfilling obligations. But in the midst of all that, we can lose touch with ourselves. To live well, we must take the time to check in with ourselves. What are our true desires? What brings us joy? What drains our energy? Taking moments throughout the day to pause, reflect, and tune into our own needs and emotions can help us live more consciously. This self-awareness allows us to make choices that align with our true values and desires, rather than simply reacting to the pressures and demands around us. Living well means choosing to focus on what matters most to us. It's about aligning our actions with our values, living with intention, and finding purpose in everything we do. When we live in alignment with our values, we experience a sense of fulfillment that can't be achieved through external accomplishments alone. Whether it's building meaningful relationships, pursuing a passion, or contributing to something greater than ourselves, living with purpose adds depth and richness to our lives. It's this sense of purpose that makes the mundane moments feel meaningful and gives us the energy to face life's challenges with resilience. One of the most powerful ways to live well is to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we don't have to what we do have. It reminds us of the abundance in our lives and helps us to appreciate the present moment. When we focus on gratitude, we create a mindset that attracts more positivity and joy. The simple act of acknowledging the good things in our lives, whether it's the love of family, the beauty of nature, or the privilege of good health, helps us feel more content and grounded. Gratitude also enhances our emotional well-being, as it reduces negative emotions like resentment and envy, replacing them with feelings of joy and peace. Living well also means embracing our imperfections. In a world that often values perfectionism, it can be easy to get caught up in striving for an ideal version of ourselves. But true happiness doesn't come from being perfect, it comes from embracing who we are, flaws and all. We must learn to be kind and compassionate toward ourselves, to recognize that we are worthy of love and respect no matter what. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, we free ourselves from the pressure to be anything other than who we truly are. This self-acceptance is a foundation for living joyfully, as it allows us to be at peace with ourselves and our lives as they are. Another key element of living joyfully is the ability to let go of things that no longer serve us. Holding on to past hurts, toxic relationships, or outdated beliefs only weighs us down and prevents us from moving forward. In order to live well, we must learn to release these burdens and create space for new opportunities, experiences, and growth. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the past, it means choosing not to allow it to control us anymore. By releasing what no longer serves us, we make room for healing, new beginnings, and greater happiness. Living joyfully also requires us to nurture our physical well-being. Our bodies are the vessel through which we experience life, and taking care of them is essential for living a life full of energy, vitality, and joy. This doesn't mean we need to follow strict diets or exercise regimens, but rather that we honor our bodies with the care and attention they deserve. This could mean getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, engaging in physical activity that brings us joy, and practicing mindfulness or meditation to reduce stress. When we take care of our bodies, we are better able to enjoy the beauty and richness of life. To live joyfully, we must also embrace the power of connection. Humans are social beings, and our relationships are vital to our emotional well-being. Surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive people who lift us up can have a profound impact on our ability to experience joy. Conversely, toxic relationships that drain our energy can hinder our happiness. It's important to nurture the relationships that bring us joy, while also being willing to set boundaries with those who bring negativity into our lives. Connection with others helps us feel supported, understood, and loved, all of which contribute to a joyful life. Lastly, living joyfully is about living in the moment. It's so easy to get caught up in worrying about the future or ruminating on the past, but true joy is found in the present moment. When we stop and appreciate the small, everyday experiences, whether it's a beautiful sunset, a meaningful conversation, or a quiet moment of peace, we open ourselves to the richness of life. Living in the moment allows us to savor the little things, to find joy in the simple pleasures that surround us each day. When we learn to be present, we become more attuned to the beauty and joy that already exists within our lives. Living well and living joyfully is a lifelong journey, and it requires ongoing commitment and self-awareness. It's about making conscious choices every day to prioritize our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. It's about being kind to ourselves, embracing life's challenges with grace, and creating space for joy, love, and connection. Ultimately, to live well and joyfully is to recognize that happiness is a choice. It's not dependent on external circumstances or achievements. It comes from within. When we choose joy, we create a life that is full of meaning, purpose, and happiness, no matter what life brings our way. Self-love and personal growth are two of the most essential elements of living a fulfilled, empowered life. At their core, these concepts are deeply intertwined. When we love ourselves fully, we open the door to growth, and as we grow, our capacity for self-love deepens. It is a continuous, evolving process, one that requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to look inward and face both our strengths and our challenges with compassion and courage. Embracing self-love and focusing on growth are not acts of selfishness or indulgence. They are essential for our well-being, our happiness, and our ability to live a meaningful life. Self-love is not simply about feeling good about ourselves in the moment. It's about truly valuing who we are at our core, regardless of our external circumstances or past experiences. It is the recognition that we are worthy of love, respect, and care, not because of what we do or achieve, but because of who we are as human beings. Many people struggle with self-love because they have internalized messages from society, relationships, or past experiences that tell them they are not enough. These negative beliefs often stem from childhood trauma or toxic relationships, and they create a distorted self-image that makes it difficult to appreciate our own worth. But the journey of self-love begins with challenging these beliefs and embracing the truth you are inherently valuable, deserving of love, and worthy of happiness. A key component of self-love is self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and patience that we would offer to a dear friend. Too often we are our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves for mistakes, flaws, and perceived shortcomings, believing that self-criticism will motivate us to do better. However, self-criticism only perpetuates feelings of inadequacy and discouragement. When we practice self-compassion, we acknowledge our imperfections and mistakes without harsh judgment, understanding that they are part of being human. We offer ourselves the grace to learn from our experiences rather than punishing ourselves for them. Self-compassion allows us to move through life with a sense of peace, knowing that we are worthy of love even in our most vulnerable moments. As we cultivate self-love, we begin to understand that growth is an essential part of the process. Personal growth isn't about striving for perfection or achieving some ideal version of ourselves. It's about embracing the journey of becoming the best version of ourselves day by day. Growth comes from learning, evolving, and expanding our perspectives. It's about challenging old patterns, breaking free from limiting beliefs, and embracing new possibilities. Personal growth requires us to be open to change and to take responsibility for our lives. It's about realizing that we have the power to transform our circumstances, our mindset, and our behaviors no matter where we start from. One of the most powerful ways to foster growth is through self-reflection. Taking time to reflect on our experiences, actions, and emotions allows us to gain valuable insights into our patterns, desires, and fears. Self-reflection enables us to identify areas where we may need to change, heal, or improve, and it also helps us recognize the progress we've made. It's important to approach self-reflection with curiosity rather than judgment, understanding that growth is not linear. Sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and that's okay. What matters is that we are moving in the direction of growth, and every experience contributes to that journey. As we grow, we also learn to set boundaries that support our well-being and protect our energy. Boundaries are a vital form of self-love because they allow us to honor our needs and protect our emotional and physical health. Setting boundaries isn't about being rigid or unkind, it's about creating space for ourselves to thrive. It means knowing when to say yes to things that nourish us and when to say no to things that drain us. Boundaries give us the freedom to prioritize our well-being, and they help us cultivate healthier, more balanced relationships with others. When we practice setting clear and respectful boundaries, we show ourselves that we are worthy of care and respect, and we create a life that supports our growth and happiness. Self-love also involves nurturing our inner dialogue. The way we speak to ourselves has a profound impact on our sense of worth and our ability to grow. Negative self-talk, such as thoughts of inadequacy, self-doubt, or criticism, can be a major barrier to both self-love and growth. But just as we can change our behaviors, we can also change our internal narrative. By becoming aware of negative self-talk and replacing it with affirming, compassionate thoughts, we can shift our mindset and open ourselves to greater self-acceptance and growth. Affirmations are a powerful tool for changing the way we think about ourselves. By repeating positive, loving statements about ourselves, we gradually rewire our brains to believe in our own worth and potential. Another critical aspect of self-love and growth is the practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not just about letting go of grudges toward others, it's also about forgiving ourselves for past mistakes, perceived failures, and moments where we feel we fell short. Holding on to guilt, shame, or regret only holds us back from growth. When we forgive ourselves, we release the weight of the past and allow ourselves to move forward with greater clarity and purpose. Self-forgiveness is an act of compassion and acceptance, acknowledging that we are all imperfect and that mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth. As we focus on self-love and growth, it's important to remember that these practices are ongoing. Self-love doesn't happen overnight. It's something we cultivate daily through our thoughts, actions, and decisions. Personal growth is also a lifelong process. There is always more to learn, more to heal, and more to discover about ourselves. However, every step we take toward greater self-love and growth brings us closer to living a life that is true to who we are. The more we love ourselves, the more we open ourselves to transformation, and the more we grow, the more we realize our infinite potential. In embracing self-love and growth, we recognize that we are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. We begin to trust ourselves and our ability to create the life we desire. We stop seeking external validation, and instead, we find peace and confidence within. As we continue on this journey, we discover that self-love and growth are not destinations, but rather the foundation for living a vibrant, fulfilling life. Letting go and trusting the universe is a powerful practice that can lead to profound peace, fulfillment, and growth. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome and allowing life to unfold naturally, knowing that everything is happening for a reason. The concept of trusting the universe encourages us to surrender to the flow of life, to believe that there is a greater force at work guiding us, and to have faith that everything we experience, whether good or bad, is part of our journey toward personal evolution. This doesn't mean we passively accept whatever happens, rather, it means we approach life with a sense of acceptance, openness, and trust, knowing that things will fall into place as they are meant to. One of the most important aspects of letting go and trusting the universe is the understanding that we are not in control of everything. As human beings, we often feel the need to manage every aspect of our lives. We create plans, set goals, and take actions with the expectation that we can predict and control the outcomes. However, life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we plan, there are always elements beyond our control. When we learn to let go of the need to control everything, we free ourselves from the stress, anxiety, and frustration that often come with trying to manage every detail. We begin to see that while we can control our actions, we cannot always control the results. Letting go means releasing the attachment to specific outcomes and trusting that whatever happens is exactly what is meant for us. Trusting the universe is also about embracing uncertainty. It's easy to feel anxious or fearful when we don't know what the future holds. The unknown can be unsettling, but it's also where the magic happens. Trusting the universe means understanding that even when we can't see the path ahead, we are being guided toward the experiences and opportunities that will help us grow. Life's twists and turns, its unexpected detours, and the challenges we face are all part of the process of learning, evolving, and becoming the person we are meant to be. The uncertainty of life is not something to fear, but something to embrace with open arms, knowing that we are always being supported and led in the right direction, even if it's not immediately clear. Letting go also means releasing the past. Many of us hold on to past mistakes, regrets, or heartbreaks, thinking that we can somehow change the course of events if we keep revisiting them. But the past is gone, and it has no power over our present unless we give it power. When we continue to cling to past experiences, we limit ourselves from moving forward. Trusting the universe means accepting that the past has played its role in shaping us, but it no longer has the authority to define us or dictate our future. We cannot change what has already happened, but we can choose to heal from it, learn from it, and release it so that we can move forward with freedom. Another key aspect of letting go and trusting the universe is learning to trust ourselves. Often we resist letting go because we don't believe we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. We fear that if we stop controlling, things will fall apart. But when we trust the universe, we are also trusting in our own resilience, wisdom, and inner strength. We have faced challenges before and emerged stronger, and we will continue to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and strength. Letting go and trusting the universe is an act of self-trust. It's a reminder that we have the resources within us to handle whatever life presents, and that sometimes the best thing we can do is surrender to the process, knowing that we are supported by a greater force. To truly trust the universe, we must also let go of fear. Fear often keeps us from surrendering control and trusting the unknown. We fear failure, rejection, or the uncertainty of the future, and so we hold on tightly to what we think is safe. But fear is a barrier to growth and change. When we trust the universe, we allow ourselves to move beyond fear and into the realm of possibility. We open ourselves up to the potential that life has to offer, knowing that even if things don't turn out exactly as we expect, we will be okay. Trusting the universe is an act of courage, as it requires us to step into the unknown with faith and optimism, rather than staying stuck in fear and doubt. Letting go and trusting the universe also means aligning ourselves with the present moment. So often we spend our time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, but the only moment we truly have is right now. When we let go of our need to control the future or fix the past, we free ourselves to experience life as it is in this moment. We begin to appreciate the beauty, the lessons, and the blessings that are available to us right now. Trusting the universe means being fully present, accepting what is, and allowing ourselves to enjoy the journey rather than constantly striving for a specific destination. It's also important to recognize that letting go doesn't mean giving up. Trusting the universe is not about becoming passive or resigning ourselves to whatever happens. It's about releasing the need to micromanage the details and instead focusing on what we can control: our attitudes, actions, and responses. We can still take proactive steps toward our goals, but we do so with the understanding that the universe will provide what we need at the right time. Letting go is about releasing the pressure to force things to happen and instead trusting that what is meant for us will come to us naturally. It's about trusting in divine timing, knowing that the universe has a plan that is far greater than anything we could orchestrate ourselves. Letting go and trusting the universe requires faith. It's not always easy, and there will be moments of doubt and uncertainty. But with each step we take in surrendering control, we build trust in the process. We learn that life has a way of working out in ways we couldn't have imagined. By releasing our need to control, we make room for miracles, synchronicities, and blessings that can only come when we open ourselves to the flow of life. Trusting the universe is a practice, and the more we do it, the more we begin to see how beautifully life unfolds when we surrender to it. Ultimately, letting go and trusting the universe is about faith in the bigger picture. It's about believing that everything we experience is part of a divine plan, and that we are being guided to where we need to be. When we trust the universe, we let go of our worries, our doubts, and our need for control, and we open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that life has to offer. The best revenge to those who hurt you is to rise above the pain. Choose healing, choose peace, choose love, and choose joy. Let go of the need for retaliation and embrace the power of forgiveness and self-love. You are worthy of a life filled with happiness and freedom, and by focusing on your own growth, you show the world that no one can take away your light. You are in control of your peace, and that is the most powerful form of revenge there is.